SANDHAN, All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.
Lovely wishes to one and all. I am Ritu Agarwal from JZ Shah Arts NHP Desai Commerce College Amroli, Surat. Your guide for today on the topic job application with CV or resume. 21st century, our century, the century in which we are living, is marked by computers, collaborations, and choices. And there is also one more C which has gained a lot of importance, and that is communication. Communication can be oral communication, it can be written communication, and job application comes under the category of written communication. Together, be with me and we will try to find out some of the hidden truths and some unhidden truths related to the aspects of job application. As you can see on the slide, an application is a mirror of personality. Why personality, or what exactly is personality? Personality is nothing, according to me, a combination of hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills you acquire through your education, your experience, the degrees which you get, and soft skills are something which you internalize. The value systems, the etiquettes, the manners, the softness of your speech, the way you carry yourself, all put in together goes in for soft skills. In the same way, when you write an application, your personality should come through it. The cover letter, the words which you show actually should reflect what kind of a person you are. And hard skills obviously would be given there as an evidence of what you have achieved. Shiv Khera has rightly said, winners don't do different things. They do things differently. Actually, when you think of the topic application, what strikes is I know everything about application. I have been studying this topic right from my school days. And when an employer receives an application, there will be hundreds and thousands of applications. But what will make you different? That you have to think about. How you will write that application, in what way you will project the same things which everyone is going to say, that makes you a winner. That brings out the difference in you. So be a winner, and your application should be such that your prospective employer is forced to select you for the job. So if Shiv Khera has said that winners don't do different things, they do things differently, he's 100% correct. And when I wish to conduct this lecture, I obviously have in mind winners before me. And in the next slide, what you see is that writing an application, according to me, is like solving a jigsaw puzzle. What is a jigsaw puzzle exactly? It is made of pieces which are of different shapes and sizes. It can be interlocked together, and when you interlock these pieces together, what happens is you get a proper kind of a diagram or a proper shape, and you feel very happy at the end of it that you have solved the puzzle. So same way in the application, the facts are there with you, the figures are there with you, everything is there with you. Only what you have to do is you have to arrange it properly, put it under the right headings, and when you solve it, when you have put all the facts and figures together, what you have ready is a jigsaw puzzle which you have solved, and solving anything gives you real happiness. So for me, when you start writing an application, think as if you are solving a puzzle, and when you solve a puzzle, come out victorious. Now, let's try to understand each and every aspect of application. What is an application and what are the different parts of application? Application. If you see in the slide, there are 5 bullet points and each highlighting something really important. The first point, an application is a formal letter. There are 2 kinds of letters basically. Informal letters, which you write to your friends, your parents, your neighbors, all that comes under the category of informal letter. But an application is a formal letter. What do I mean by a formal letter? Formal letter means it has to have a standardized format. You cannot write the way you want it. You will have to follow a strict code of conduct when you are writing a formal letter. Formal letter is nothing but a business letter. Let me give you an example to explain what do I mean by formal. As students, when you go out for shopping or when you go for a party, you select the best dress. Or when you have to go for an interview, your dress is properly selected. You cannot wear a t-shirt or jeans or slippers and be casual for an interview or a party. You have to be perfect in everything. And the same applies to a letter also. You mean serious business when you are writing an application. So you have to standardize it. You have to follow strict rules for writing it. And when you write it, it becomes very formal, and not a casual approach definitely has to be avoided. Second important point related to application is that you have a set goal when you are writing an application. There is an aim before you. An application is not written just for the sake of it. And your aim is to convince the prospective employer that you will be the best person for them, and that if they invest in your services, it would definitely be a sound investment. So when you are writing an application, you have a set goal before it. The third point is that it should highlight your strengths. It is like a marketing brochure. You have to tailor it well. It's the first time and the only time when you can actually tell your prospective employer that you are best in all these things. This is what you have achieved. Don't hesitate in writing what you want to. And you have to talk about your achievements, your recognitions, your experience, your education, whatever it is. So highlight your strengths in a proper way. You have to be humble, but at the same time, unless and until you speak out what you have to, nobody will know about it. The fourth important point related to an application is presenting the facts. Don't try to cheat the employers. When you are writing the year of passing, or when you are stating your percentage marks, when you are writing your scores, everything should be correct to the best of your knowledge. The facts should be presented correctly. And lastly, an application is detailed but concise. It's a paradox. You have to state everything, but not go on writing it like a document, a big document. It's not a book. It's a 2-3 pages application wherein you send everything in a detailed manner. It should cover everything, but at the same time, it should be very brief. You should summarize everything and send it. So, if I put all these points together, we arrive at a proper definition of an application. and that would be: an application is a formal letter written with a set goal in your mind, and the goal is to convince the prospective employer, wherein you highlight the strengths, present the facts in a detailed yet concise manner. In the next slide, what do you see? The parts of an application. An application, unlike the traditional method, in the traditional method, the trend was to put everything in one letter and just complete it. It could be long paragraphs, and that used to be an application. But the modern method is different. A job application nowadays is generally divided into two parts. The first part is the cover letter, and the second part is what we call the CV or the resume. What is a cover letter? Cover letter actually outlines the need and capability which you have for that particular job for which you are applying. It prepares an introduction kind of to your CV. It is an asset. The words which you choose for a cover letter shows your personality. So work upon your cover letter, and we will also discuss how a cover letter has to be written. And it serves as a bridge to your CV. So what happens is, a person would be reading the cover letter first, and the second part which he comes to is the CV or the resume. Next, let's try to understand each part in detail. We will first try to understand what is a cover letter, how is it written, what is the structure of a cover letter, because I mentioned that a cover letter is a business letter. It is a formal letter. It has to be standardized. Therefore, let us try to find out in detail how a cover letter is written. There are basically two styles of writing a cover letter, or any formal letter for that matter. The old method was the indented or the British style. It's not that that method is wrong, but just that because of the changing scenario and because of the advent in computer, people have now moved on to the blocked or the American style of writing the cover letter. So just remember, the traditional method was the indented method or the British style of writing a letter, and the modern method is also called the blocked or the American style of writing the letter. In the slide, let's see how actually these two styles vary. What is the difference between these two styles of writing a letter? In the first block, you can see the indented style. That is on the left hand side, what you see is the indented style or the British style of writing the letter. You can also mark that the alignment is changing in this form. First, the heading or your name or the sender's name and address is on the right hand side, that is, it is right aligned, whereas the recipient's address is on the left side. It's on the left margin, it is left aligned, and the body of the letter, that is what you are writing, comes as centrally aligned. Again, there is a change to right alignment. So what is happening basically in indented style or British style of writing the cover letter is this, that you are shifting the alignments from right alignment to left alignment, from left alignment to central alignment, from center to right. So it keeps on changing. What happens while you are typing this style is, it takes a lot of time. You have to enter, then you have to align, then you have to enter, and then you have to align. So when computers came, they thought of bringing in a change. and changes happen eventually and you have to accept it. So coming to the right side, this is the modern method. If you can see, each part is on the left hand side. Each and every part of the letter, be it the sender's name and address, be it the recipient's name and address, be it the date, be it the body, be it the signature, everything will come on the left hand side. So when you actually type it, it looks like a block. It comes out in the form of a rectangle or a square. Therefore, it is called a blocked style or the American style of writing a letter. So when I would be discussing the different parts of a cover letter, remember that each part of the letter would be left aligned. Before we move on to the parts, let me share some tips for how to make a cover letter effective, which is very important because, as I said, it's an age of speed. It's a jet age. Nobody has the time to read what you have written in pages. So you have to concise everything. So the first important point is be brief. Brevity is an important characteristic of an application. You have to be brief, but that does not mean that you will avoid important information. You can also summarize. Summarizing is the best technique while you are writing an application. Second important point is to the point. Don't beat about the bush. Don't be repetitive. State what you have to state directly. Come to the point directly. That is extremely important as far as application or the cover letter is concerned.